Welcome back, everybody. Now, the Zeitz MOCAA Museum of Contemporary Art Africa has recently launched two new exhibitions titled Past Disquiet and Seismography of Struggle Towards a Global History of Critical and Cultural Journals as part of their new season of exhibitions that focus on the importance of archiving our history through the arts. Now, these exhibitions were curated by all-female curators, Lebanese curator-writer duo, and long-time collaborators Kristine, Khouri and Rasha Salti from Past Disquiet, and French-Algerian art historian Zahia Rahmani. Zeitz MOCAA Executive Director Kouoh joins us now virtually to unpack these exhibitions. Koyo, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. Lovely having you join us this morning. Now, tell us a bit more on the two exhibitions and how it came about.
Well, the whole project actually, I have to root it in the middle of the pandemic when we were really, as institutions, struggling to really overcome the pandemic. We got together and put together a summit, an online summit, which was called Radical Solidarity Summit, because we were interested in understanding how, as cultural institution, what we can do for ourselves, as well as what we can do for others and what we can do together. So it was a week-long investigation of methods of solidarity across the world, and it brought over 25 thinkers, artists, curators from across the world. Following up on that, we invited Rasha, Salti, Kristine, Khouri and Zahia Rahmani to think about how we could bring these two exhibitions to Cape Town, Past Disquiet and Seismography of Struggle.
Yeah.
Past Disquiet, on the one hand, is an exhibition that tells the history of 4 collections of art in exile, and 4 collections that were put together by artists, activists, and other political organizations to bring awareness to the situation of particularly 4 countries in the world that was in the 70s. So one of the countries is Palestine, Chile, Nicaragua, and of course South Africa. And
now, Koyo, do share with us, if you can, the importance of preserving our history so that current generations can actually learn from the lessons we have learned from the past.
Well, the preservation of culture and art and spirit and society is an essential, work in every society. And there are many methods of preserving culture. I mean, on the continent, we have the incredible field of oral history that is still really a very important and valid form of cultural preservation from generation to generation. But of course, also we have the documents, the archives, and art plays an important role in that. And many artists have practices that lean to or are based on archival documentation, research based, and it is this way that we transmit society, we transmit culture from era to era, and it is absolutely essential because without knowing your past, you cannot form your future and project your present and project yourself in your future. So,
true.
Archiving, documenting, preserving are at the core of societal development.
You couldn't have said it better. Now, let's talk about, the kinds of conversations that you had with the co-curators in terms of what you wanted to achieve through this project.
Well, I think the most important thing for us was, of course, to bring those stories to South Africa. A museum is a civic space, and we really want to make Zeitz MOCAA that space of civic engagement, looking at ourselves, looking at our past, project ourselves in the future through the language and the vast vocabulary and grammar that art history, curatorial practice, and exhibition making and artistic practice provide. So this is really the essence of what we do at the museum. And of course, exhibitions are fundamental in telling those stories in ways that are interesting, engaging, enlightening for the public.
In as much as it's telling stories that are engaging and enlightening, but I suppose this project is focusing on showing works that actually upload experimentation and innovation, while, of course, addressing the very prominent and social as well as political struggles for democracy and equality, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the show is really so rich, so vast. It's a vast archive and it's a vast array of different documents and images, photography, reproductions, letters, correspondence, videos, dialogues, and it really shows the development of the idea. Particularly, for instance, if we take the example of the South African collection, which is called the Art Against Apartheid collection, that was put together by French artists in the late 70s, basically appalled by Nice, his hometown. This is Ernest Pignon-Ernest, an artist in Nice, who was really protesting his hometown's Nice, twinning with Cape Town in the 70s, in the middle of apartheid. And this is how he started the collection of Art Against Apartheid, to raise awareness globally around the situation in Cape Town, in South Africa at that time. And the collection grew and grew, connected with other collections. There is also the Palestinian collection that was also put together to raise awareness about the situation in Palestine, connected with the art, with the Art Against for Solidarity for Chile. So all these movements come together in ways that makes it really graspable and understandable for the public at the museum.
All right, Koyo, lovely chatting to you. All the best of luck on this project. So just give us brief details as to where it'll be held.
The exhibitions are at Zeitz MOCAA in Cape Town, and they will be running until next year in May.
Okay, great stuff. All the best, Koyo. Thank you so much for chatting to us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great stuff. Well, the Zeitz Museum of Contemporary Art Africa has recently launched 2 new exhibitions titled Past Disquiet and Seismography of Struggle. We just spoke to the executive director, Kouoh.